Time's 11:57 and I leave this A road, but now I'm on this dirt road. Time's 1:05 and like ice shorts come into view. Thinking see what time get to soonish. It's probably not too far now, probably a couple of kilometres. So pretty easy going, nice and cool. Temperature's about 10 degrees. This is the abandoned village of Broadford. Dare say abandoned in the highland clearances a couple of centuries ago. Time is 10 to 3 and this is Trotternish. Just started to light rain. Contemplating taking off the black fleece and putting on the raincoat. Wind's starting to pick up a bit too. Time's 4:38 and I've hitched my tent after it started to rain a bit more steadily now. Can hear it on the tent. The location is NG 159175 and it's in Glen Broadford, probably about 1.5 kilometres before the parking area at Camus Maylag. Thought I'd camp here because once I reach the parking area it's road for maybe 3 or 4 kilometres right round to the other side of the Loch Slappin, and there's the village of Coulin in between. So I thought this would be a nice place to camp. Pity you can see the mountains but they're all in the cloud. See what the weather is tomorrow. I think from the forecast it should be better. I think they were talking about light rain today and that's what's happening now. Time's 6:20 and just got up. The rain stopped a couple of hours ago and I think the wind is a bit less too now. It was okay in the tent last night and you can see the first row of mountains over there on the other side of the loch. Not sure, without looking at the map, what they're called, but the ones in the distance are still covered in cloud. So I'll have breakfast now and pack up and be on my way. Spoke too soon. The light drizzle started again. Time is 8:15 and packing up everything, ready to leave. Time is 8:23 and leaving the campsite. Temperature on the MEC thermometer is about 6 degrees Celsius. Basically, once I reach the car park, I think it's only about 1 kilometre to the car park, and then basically got to follow the road right round the end of this sea loch. That's about 4 or 5 kilometres on the road. Like the car parking area I was referring to earlier, where those 2 camper vans are parked. So once I get there, it'll be back onto the main A road into Trotternish, and then round the head of the loch and down the other side. Time is 9:52 and passing through Trotternish. Not a lot of activity happening. Everything seems to be closed. Temperature's up to 16 Celsius now, getting warm. Having lunch just next to Kirky Post. Time is 1:10. Time is 5:30 and have arrived at Glen Skye. Decided to camp here, nice grassy spot, little stream bringing water, sheep around, so I think I better boil the water. But what a stunning view looking out across the water at the Coulin ranges. Big mountains just coming straight up out of the water. Very similar to what I imagine Norway or Milford Sound Beautiful afternoon, hardly any wind, sunny. It's 10 to 6 on the Thursday 18th of April. Just got up about 15 minutes ago and got my cup of coffee on the stove at the moment, waiting for the sun to come up. I think it's a bit overcast. I'm not exactly sure what we'll see, but I'm sure once the sun's up, the cloud will clear away again. That's my feeling. But at the moment, a bit uncertain. Can see the mountains across the water there, and I'm feeling very happy. Leaving the campsite and heading to Camashunery. Time's 1:10 and taken off another layer. It's getting quite warm. Still a bit of a breeze behind me as I'm heading towards Sligashan. Not feeling the best. I was feeling a bit lightheaded, then had lunch and then still feel a bit off. Also feeling the weight of the pack through the top of the thigh muscles. So not sure what to do. may end up scratching Loch Corsuic off as the destination for today and head to Sligashan. I don't know, it's a nice day, but not really feeling up to it, and pack is too heavy. Have to seriously consider what to do with some of the stuff. Wasn't sure what weather would be expecting in Scotland. Certainly needed the warm clothing earlier on when I arrived, but now it seems to be warming up, so might have to seriously consider how to lighten the weight I'm carrying as the weather improves. Anyway, time to go. Time 6:29 and I'm all set up. I think almost 5 kilometres short of Sligashan. Hasn't been my best day today. Started feeling a bit weary, and after leaving Kamasuri Boffy, and then started feeling pain, tiredness in the upper thigh. Been a warm day, I think at least 20 degrees temperature. Only wearing the shirt for most of the day. Decided not to go to Loch Corsuic. Meant climbing up to 300 metre altitude and then descending down to sea level. If I was going to, a bit worried that if there was something wrong, wouldn't want to be getting further away from where I'm heading. That's why I continued on to Sligashan. Hope to get up early tomorrow and complete the journey into Sligashan. Thought camp here, nice grassy spot beside a little stream. Nice view of the mountains, good sunshine in the evening. The other alternative, of course, would have been to go into Sligashan and use a commercial campground. Decided to camp out here, and hopefully tomorrow can get the bus up to Portree to bypass the long road section into Portree. It's Good Friday tomorrow, so I'm not sure what that means with the shops, but I do want to get to the shops and get some more things, so may have to go to Portree on Saturday and do my shopping. Then the Trotternish Ridge, and I think the weather's changing on Monday, so don't want to be stuck on the ridge with 40-mile-an-hour winds. Just have to see what happens, but that's what I'm thinking. Hope to get a good night's rest and be feeling better tomorrow and finish this 5 kilometres in good time. It's Saturday 20th of April and time's 10 o'clock. I've just been over and paid for another 2 nights here at Torvaig campsite just outside of Portree. The outlook today is going to be low cloud, and I don't know if you can see it in the video, but light Scotch mist floating down. So can't really see Trotternish Ridge be up in the cloud. And tomorrow, I think even more, a little bit more rain falling tomorrow. But the outlook is for improvement on Monday and through the rest of the week, with the overall weather system changing. I think in next weekend, so it's 1 week's time. So it's been good weather for the last week, so hopefully that'll continue. So that's the reason why I'm staying and in this campsite till Monday, and then we'll leave and hopefully be able to do the Trotternish Ridge and you can see something. There'll be maybe 1 or 2 days to cross the ridge, depends how fast you move, to Flodigarry, then to Duntulm, which is the end of the Skye Trail, and finally Ewig, then ferry from Ewig across to Tarbert or Lochmaddy, depends, probably Tarbert, then may go to Raygadale, Ufosdale, and then bus up to Stornoway. So that's the outline of my plan so far. So 2 rest days in Portree while the weather changes, and then continue. Should add that it was quite windy during the night and for the first half of the night, but now hardly a breath of breeze. Fish and chips is very popular today. They're queuing out the door. This headland is some sort of tribute to the Nicholson clan, who were the ancient owners, family here. Torvaig was their seat of residence. That's Craigmore. We'll be going past that on the Trotternish Ridge, probably on Monday, and a few spots of rain now. So see if I can get back to the campsite through Torvaig. That's my idea. Now, waiting for the porridge to cook in the billy. I've boiled the water, I've got a cup of coffee, sent a few messages on the yellow brick, and we'll be leaving Portree today to cross the Trotternish Ridge. Seems the employed to stay in Portree to sit out the, I wouldn't call bad weather, but dull weather. Was a good decision because today's a sunny day, although a bit windy. It's about 30 kilometres, the entire Trotternish Ridge, and I'll probably take 2 days to do it. That'll put me in Flodigarry on Tuesday night, I think, and then the end at Duntom, Rumour Hamish or something like that anyway, on Wednesday night, and into Ewig on Thursday, and then be ferry from Ewig over to the Hebrides, I would think. So that's the plan, and I think it's going to be fine weather for this week, so all looking very optimistic. Time is 10:30 and I'm about to leave Portree Torvay campsite. Getting a bit windy now. Nice sunny day. I'll be heading off back to Torvay and onto the Trotternish Ridge. Not the place to be suffering from vertigo. Looks a long way down. Time is 4:05 and I'm going to camp here, not very far from the road, and got to cross the road and be over there. That's the store and the old man's store. So that's for tomorrow morning to climb up that hillside. Looks a good track to start off with. Thinking I'll go to near the next road, Coulin, and then third day through Flodigarry and towards Duntom and the end of the track. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. A little bit of shelter from the wind here. Hope it's a nice camp, should be good. If it's clear tomorrow, we'll have the sun on this side of the mountain. So I'm just going to have a cup of coffee and then I'll put up the tent shortly. watching the sunset. Very nice. It's 6 AM on 23rd of April. The wind died down with the sunset last night and been very calm during the night. Tent just started fluttering in the last hour, so maybe it'll pick up again during the day. Also overnight it's become cloudy. Was hoping for nice sunrise, but won't be able to see that. I'll have breakfast now and I will pack up and I'll continue. I looked at the weather last night. I think a little bit of rain maybe coming in around Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. I don't think it's all that much, just maybe scattered bits here and there. I think going to be mostly cloudy for the rest of the week, and maybe after about Sunday it might become, the rain goes, but I think going to have a pretty windy day coming up in a couple of days' time. Yeah, wind's going to pick up. So that's what I remember of the weather forecast, but we'll see what happens. Time is 7:39 and I'm all packed up and I'll be leaving now. So I just got to go down and cross that road and then up the, looks like a nice path at least at the beginning, up through the Store mountain. It's 8:25 and at the main road to Stafford, sign saying the path to Portree 6.5 miles. Time is 10:30 and just reached the end of Old Manor Store. Now opened up and should be faster going now. A lot less climbing. Sun's also come out. We've put the solar panel out on the top of the backpack and when I checked it was generating about 1 watt, charging the Xiaomi battery. Time is 12:08 and on top of Hartevale, altitude 669 metres. Very big cliffs over there to my left. Go over that and you're finished. So I'll keep my distance. I think all what I have to do now is to follow the top of a cliff right out to that point, and then descends down into another BLAC and up the other side. Been a bit of a steep climb coming up the initial part of Hartevale. Well, that's the climb out of BLAC Hartevale completed. Certainly hard work and steep coming up that hill. Now I head along the top of a cliff line for a kilometre or so before heading back down a bit again. We're going over Skye, Malade, which is 615 metres high, and then to Baka Ruad at 639 metres. Bit breezy up here. Not sure how the audio will turn out, but doing my best. I don't want to be wandering along this cliff line in a whiteout. Water up on the ridge has been pretty sparse. Hasn't been that much. Been quite dry actually. I've just met two people from Holland and they tipped me off about this little stream that was flowing from out of the ground. I'm filling up my water bottles from this stream. You wouldn't want to go over there.
I think the big one there, that's the last one, I think.
lull in the wind. What a relief. Time is 8:10 and all packed up. I'll leave now and head to the bus stop. I believe the bus is 9:50 at the Flodigarry Hotel road end. So I'll get moving now. The rocks are a bit slippery with the light rain. Have to be careful. Glad to be down that slope. Started off going down forward, but got too precarious, so I turned around and came down backwards. Took a little bit of time, but got down safely. Glad it's out of the way. Well, it's Friday 26th of April and it's probably about 6 AM now, I think. Actually 5 to 6. Won't quibble about that. Yesterday was nice and sunny in Ewing. Best day I've ever had in Ewing for weather. I remember back in 2016 when passed through Ewing, this campground was all waterlogged and had to pitch my tent halfway up the hill just to find a dryish piece of ground, and the wind was very strong. But not so this visit. Very nice sitting outside the Caledonian McBrain office using their Wi-Fi. Did some internet searching and using Travel Line Scotland and discovered that it's not so easy getting from Ullapool up to Kinlochbervie or Durness at this time of year without going back to Inverness and then travelling back up to Durness via Leg. That's the way it is. The direct connections from Ullapool to Trotternish come later in May. There is some sort of community bus which requires 2-day advance booking that runs on the first and third Thursday of the month. So I could get to Kinlochbervie on that bus, I suppose, if it was bookable. On the 2nd of May, what I've decided now though is to go, as I was intending yesterday, on the ferry out to Tarbert, and then there's a connecting bus up to Stornoway, camp at Laxdale camping ground in Stornoway, and then on Saturday catch the ferry from Stornoway to Ullapool. Now I'll stay in Ullapool, probably at the campground, although the youth hostel probably a possibility if I need to charge the batteries. With the sunshine though, I've been able to keep on top of charging the Zomi battery. Then I will go by the CityLink coach back to Inverness, and then stagecoach up to John O'Groats, and then another change to go to Gills Bay, and Penterland ferry to Margaret's Hope, and bus to Kirkwall. So that'll happen over the next few days. Looks like there's a nice camping ground in Kirkwall. Says it's not far from the city centre. Might use that as a base for a couple of days and look around the Orkneys in the parts I haven't been to. Still want to go to Rackwick, and then from Kirkwall there's the Northlink ferry that goes up to Shetland, so it's a good place to get to Shetland from. That'll be an overnight trip, but that'll be in maybe 2 weeks time perhaps. So that's roughly what I'm thinking at the moment. So I'll just sit back now and have breakfast, and then wait for the 2 p.m. ferry from Ewing to Tarbert. While it was initially overcast at 5 a.m, the clouds were clearing and it was a nice sunrise. Can't figure it out. I get good mobile phone signal here in Ewing with Vodafone network, but absolutely no data. Can get Wi-Fi at the CalMac office.